I'm Coach Amber, and welcome to the Meet RX Success Story podcast. Today we have Ashley with us. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi.
Okay, so Ashley, tell us, before you started Carnivore, what was going on? What were you having any health issues, or were you trying to lose weight? What made you want to try the Carnivore diet?
Well, in 2013, I had a 1-year-old. I had gained 60 pounds during a pregnancy. I was suffering from acid reflux, crazy periods, migraines, sleepless nights, postpartum depression, anxiety. And so I converted into a keto diet. I had lost a lot of weight from a keto diet, but I was still suffering from digestive issues. And so vegetables were still very much a problem for me. And that is actually why I was interested in trying carnivore. And it was just a test. And it's been a good test. But that's why I got started.
Okay, awesome. And any other health issues were you dealing with at the time? Was there anything that just kind of really stood out that you really wanted to work on?
I wanted to be healthy for my child, and I wanted to, I was on an anti-anxiety medication, an antidepressant. I wanted to get off of that medication. I also was born with abnormal hip sockets. So any additional weight on those hip sockets made my hips extremely painful to sit or to walk for prolonged periods of time. I was not heavy as a child. I wasn't heavy until probably leaving high school in that capacity, and trying to kind of overcome and get through that was a problem, which is why I attempted keto to reduce carbs and reduce inflammation. But it wasn't until, really venturing into carnivore that I started seeing other ways to reduce more inflammation.
Awesome. Okay, so when you started carnivore, how did you implement the diet? What did you eat? What's a typical day look like? And did you have any transitional issues?
So when I started carnivore, I'm actually coming up on my 1-year anniversary, or carniversary, I should say. I would say that when I first started, or the way that I transitioned, I was actually more of a ketovore person there at the end, right before carnivore started, where I was primarily 90% meat, and I would have a rare vegetable every once in a while. And those vegetables consisted of, and they were high sulfur or nightshades, which is why I was having such digestive issues. I am sulfur sensitive and nightshade sensitive. Those are your peppers, your Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower and broccoli. And that's pretty much what was the main crux of the issue. So I would say that I didn't really change much of my diet once I transitioned into carnivore, except getting rid of all of that. I also got rid of all plant-based sweeteners. So I would have coffee every single day. I would have dairy. I would have heavy cream in my coffee. Sometimes I would have it black if I didn't want the fullness of heavy cream. Heavy cream, if you have multiple cups of coffee in a day, can feel really full. And so if I did that, I would just be 1 cup with heavy cream. Every single day would consist of a red meat. Red meat really provided me the most energy and left me feeling the most full for the longest period of time. I'm not a huge fan of chicken. If I did eat chicken, it was either a chicken thigh, leg, or wing. And it was also in conjunction with another meat. It was never by itself. I eat eggs daily. I eat either ground beef or pork daily. And when I say pork, it's going to either be bacon or sausage. And those are uncured. I eat butter. I like salted butter. I also like to salt my food. I'm a big advocate for electrolyte balance. So magnesium, potassium, and sodium, I try to make sure I get those in. I am not, however, an organ person. I have tried organ meat, and I am not a huge fan. That might take me a little while. I'm still in my freshman year of carnivore. So maybe once I get, sophomore, junior, senior year, then maybe I can eat some liver. I just can't do it yet. I see it on everyone else's Instagram, and I get so curious, and I think about it, and then I chicken out. So transitionally, were there any side effects or symptoms that I experienced? I hearken back to some of your more popular carnivores when they try it out for a month and they say they had terrible diarrhea. I did not have terrible diarrhea. I have only experienced that when I do extended fasts or OMAD, in which I eat, if I break my fast with a very high fat food, then in 30 minutes, it will come out. So that's the only time that ever happens. And I think that that's the situation or the issue when others do carnivore. Sometimes they're eating a higher fat meat, and that's why they're having such an influx. The protein is being used immediately, and everything else is just leaving the body. I wasn't hangry or cranky. I didn't experience any issues with sleep abnormalities, like some people have an issue, falling asleep the first 2 weeks. And I actually will attribute that to the fact that my electrolytes were always balanced. I think that is primarily the precursor for why that doesn't work for them in the beginning. The electrolytes just aren't balanced right yet. And coming from a keto background, electrolytes are important.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, so now the really good part. I want to hear how things have improved, that the issues that you had prior to carnivore. What has changed?
Prior to carnivore, actually the previous 2 years, even while I was keto, I got pneumonia 2 years in a row. This year I have been completely fine. There's been no illness, no sickness, which is crazy to say during a pandemic year that I have had absolutely zero illness. I wasn't on an antibiotic, if I had a sniffle, it was because I had too much dairy and the mucus was just coming in. That's the only, issue I had. I'm not on any anti-anxiety medication. I do not take any supplements. I don't take any medications whatsoever, except for the occasional Flonase or Zyrtec when they cut the fields near my house and I have to. I live in the country, and when they cut the fields and it's dry, it's going to go everywhere, and I'm just going to be in a sneezing fit. So that's the only time I take it. My hip sockets are, it's a lot easier to sit. It's a lot easier to stand. I'm not having constant popping. I'm not in pain. I have a full range of motion in my hips, and it's an enjoyable life. It's not a life filled with pain and Aleve arthritis medication. So those are the things immediately that changed that are better. My menstrual cycle is much better. I no longer am, dreadful for an entire week. I still will be mildly cranky and a little PMSy, but not in pain. It's not painful flow where it used to be painful. My acid reflux is completely gone. The only time that I have experienced it during this entire year of carnivore was after a 72-hour fast, and there was seasoning on the meat, on the food that I ate that broke the fast, and it was liquid aminos. And the liquid amino acid is what created my acid reflux. And I should have taken that as my cue, that I just should have salted it and not put a liquid amino acid on it. That is what set me on fire. So on carnivore, I am still sensitive to it, but only if I over season. And it's not a daily medication situation or popping Tums, which are full of sugar either. So that's completely gone, except for that one situation in an entire year.
That's awesome. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing your success story. And I hope things just keep getting better for you.
Thank you.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye.